Hello, everybody, and welcome. It's Hugh here at Loxon, and I'm here with, normally it would be our solution to our earlier config challenge, but today's config challenge was so balmy that there isn't really a solution to it. It's completely up to interpretation. So today's config challenge, because it's Fun Friday, was a Wallace and Gromit style waking up in the morning machine that everything is automated and done for you. You don't have to think about a single thing. Now, in the spirit of this config challenge, I haven't really prepared for this at all. So I'm just going to kind of wing it as we go on. I'm then going to show you Joe Collison's config because I believe it deserves to be shown because of just how nuts it is. And then, as we do always on a Friday, I will announce the winner in some spectacular fashion. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I actually spent more time planning the spectacular fashion than I have thinking about this config challenge. So I'll get ahead and share my screen with you. So as you can see, my preparation has gone to the extent of putting a mini server in there with a few ceiling lights and a touch night light just so I have something to go with. So in my mind, any good, incredible machine should work in stages. So I would probably start at the bedroom with the night light or the alarm clock going off. So what do I want to happen when the alarm clock goes off? Well, I probably want my lights to come on. Now, a normal Loxon alarm clock would make our lights fade up nice and lovely and beautifully so we could wake up all happy. But nah, we don't want to do that because we want to make sure that we don't miss anything when we get up in the morning because Corona has ended. So instead, let me just quickly, night light. I need to stick that in there, that on there, just to get a little bit of lighting working, that on there, not worried about names. So when the night light goes off, what do I want to happen? Well, for the time of the alarm, so status ringing, QAR, I'm going to stick that in A because A is our alarm input. So that's going to make all the lights flash on us. That will start waking us up. Of course, we can't forget blinds as well. So we should have some blinds in there. And when the blinds go off, it's not going to make them lift up a little peak. It's going to make them completely lift up. So that should start getting us out of bed. And so any good incredible machine should then move on to the next stage. So what's the next thing to happen? Well, the next thing to happen is probably in the landing. I'm going to call this landing. Probably also want to have some music in the bedroom. So bedroom music. And again, when the alarm goes off, I want that to play our room favorite #1, which is going to be our wake up music. And then I'll tell you what, let's interrupt that after 30 seconds. So 30 seconds after the alarm goes off, because you know that we'll just bury our heads and completely ignore everything. So 30 seconds after all of this, I want to play a little text-to-speech message. And that text-to-speech message is going to say, get out of bed, you lazy bugger, and go for a shower. Then that text is going to go into our text-to-speech input of our music server. Okay, cool. What needs to happen next? Well, next I would say is that we probably want to say that if the motion sensor in the landing detects motion and it is also within that period of time that our alarm clock is going off. So I could probably do something again like a switch off delay. So we could do within, say, 10 minutes of our alarm going off. And then again, take that pulse into here. What's that going to do? Well, that is probably going to just make sure our lights are on nice and bright in our landing for us. So let's go to our bright mood. Let's make sure it goes right to O, which is bright. And what else can it do? I'll tell you what else it can do. It can prepare our bathroom for us. So that can then go to the bathroom. And what do we want that to prepare in our bathroom for us? I would say, first of all, it probably wants to prepare something like a towel rail so that we have a nice hot towel waiting for us. So it can turn the towel rail on for 5 minutes. And that same AND pulse can do that. So the towel's already started to heat up before we get into the bathroom. It could probably also trigger our room favorite in our bathroom as well, so that the music is already playing by the time we get in there. And yeah, I know I'm doing this not the neatest config in the world, because that's kind of the point of this one. It's just a little bit silly. So bathroom music's already playing. Towel rail is already heating up because we've walked through that landing during the time that our alarm is going off. So there we go, towel rail. What else do we want to happen? We want to recognize when we actually turn that shower on. So I'm not going to worry about lights. Lights can be done through bog standard motion in the bathroom, but I do want to recognize when I've turned that shower actually on. So I probably want something like a temperature sensor fitted to the hot water pipe of the shower. And then what's that temperature sensor going to do? That temperature sensor is probably going to, after 5 minutes, so we're going to do something like a switch on delay. So if that temperature sensor rises above 45 degrees, it means I'm having a shower, or 38 degrees. I don't know how hot showers get. I just have mine as hot as they go. So when that is above 38 degrees, it's going to then trigger into a switch on delay. And then that switch on delay is going to come on after 5 minutes. And if after 5 minutes we haven't got out of the shower, it's then going to play another text-to-speech message. And this time it's going to play a text-to-speech message that says, "You've been in the shower too long. Have breakfast." Cool. But we need to make sure that it is also this and also still within that alarm period. So it needs to be that and still within our alarm period. Ooh, no, not that one. No, not that one. Where did I put it? There. There we go. So that's now telling us we've got to have breakfast. So text output there. And that is going to go into text-to-speech in the bathroom. Next bit that we want to happen is when we do get out of the shower, we want to, after 10 minutes, to give us enough time to dry ourselves off and get changed, we want our coffee and our toast to be ready for us. So at this same point here, we are going to do a state value of 1. And then when that outputs a 1, we are going to do another delay. So we're going to do a delayed pulse this time. And this is going to wait 10 minutes before it pulses. And then when it does pulse, it is going to move over to our kitchen for us. And in our kitchen, we are going to have our toaster and we are going to have our coffee machine. So let's say that the coffee machine is just nice and easy on a relay, just have to turn it on, just have to keep it on for however long we're going to be in there wanting coffee. So first of all, that delayed pulse is going to turn our coffee machine on. So that is going to be our coffee machine. we then again need another relay for the coffee machine. And we also want to turn our toaster on. Now, somebody just before this brought up a great idea, and I don't have any idea whether this will work or not. Please do not try this at home. Let's try sticking our toaster on a dimmer extension so that we can actually adjust the level of dimming to the toaster. So let's have, this will not work, by the way, never do this. So that's going to be our toaster. Our toaster is going to be, how it can be leading edge. So there's our toaster, and we are then going to make sure that when this pulse happens, that it then switches over to the stairwell light switch again. But when it switches over to the stairwell light switch, it's then going to go into an analog multiplexer. And that analog multiplexer is then going to output a value of 50. So it's going to a 50% dim level, because we all know that toasters are the most horrible things on earth. And that's going to make sure then that for that 180 seconds that this is on, that it's going to be doing our toaster at 50%, because that gives us perfect toast somehow. So that's going to be half power. Give us a value of 50. There we go, and that into there. And so that's our coffee and our toast sorted. The next thing is we want another delayed pulse. And we want, again, from the point that we've turned the coffee machine on, another delayed pulse that's going to wait another 5 minutes. And if after 5 minutes of that coffee machine turning on, we have not left the house, that means we really should leave the house. So we're going to then pull in another music server zone. And again, we're going to put another text-to-speech block. So we're then going to have another status block. In that status block, we're going to say if AI1 equals 1, then we want to output a status text of time to go. You're going to be late. And that then goes into text-to-speech there. And then finally, just before I finish, in the hall, we are then finally going to say that on the lighting controller in the hall, triple click from the switch. And what we are going to do, how are we going to do this? How am I going to do this? What I want to do is, if there isn't a triple click within 2 minutes of this text-to-speech message, then it starts the whole burglar alarm going to really get us moving. So we have now put AQ equals 1 if that plays the text-to-speech. So that is then going to, I know how to do this. So we then have a switch block that's our normal all-out switch. And the RAQ, the triple click, is going to turn that switch block on. And that way, we can compare whether this switch is on. So if this switch is not on, and let's say 2 minutes after it's told us to leave the house, that will then turn this output on. That output is then going to have a switch off delay of 30 seconds. And for those 30 seconds, we are going to make all hell break loose. We are going to fire up the alarm in the kitchen. We are going to fire up the alarm in the bathroom, in the bedroom, in just about everywhere, just to make sure we are really getting out of the house. And there we have it, completely bonkers incredible machine. And yes, I know that I've missed things in there. I know that I've forgotten to turn certain things off after periods of time. But hey, it's all there as a little bit of fun. Now, before we get on to the award, to give a special mention. So we had quite a few people sending in configs. I saw Adrian's and Nathan's coming in. Both of them were quite sensible. And then Scott and Joe decided to go for the more ridiculous side like I did. And I do want to just show Joe's, because as always happens, Joe only seems to turn up for Fridays, for Fun Friday. And he always seems to do something a little bit mad. So I just wanted to show his, because what he's got is the alarm clock. And when the alarm clock goes off, it kicks into action this Let's Go memory flag. But before that, it completely lifts up the blinds. It also turns on the morning lighting mood. It also triggers this status block, which if AI1 equals 1, it says something quite rude that I'm going to quickly turn away from because this is a recorded webinar, which plays a text-to-speech message out of the music server. It also triggers this memory flag danger. Well, actually, sorry, that memory flag is triggered from stage 4, and it's quite interesting what that does. So we'll get onto that in a bit. Let's Go memory flag then goes on to stage 2. And so when Let's Go triggers and there's motion in the bedroom, then this goes into this switch block, which then triggers the hot water valve for the shower to start the shower running for you. It also triggers this edge detection switch, which turns the bathroom music server on. There is also another text-to-speech message that happens as well. Also, as part of this, it turns the bathroom ventilation on for you and turns the towel rail booster on for you and turns the lights on for you. We then move over to stage 3. On stage 3, it turns the coffee machine on for us, turns the kitchen music on for us, and triggers this retractive switch of danger. As I said, we'll come on to danger in a second. It also triggers this switch, which triggers a pulse generator, which triggers a sequencer, which triggers a runway sequence of lighting in your kitchen, I'm guessing, so that you have a lighting strip illuminate for you. And then we also have the TV turn on. And then what I liked here was this you're late scenario at 7:30, which then turns off the coffee machine, turns off the sequencer, and also plays some more text-to-speech. It's time to go, sir, you're late. And then finally, we move over to stage 4. And on stage 4, we trigger the door motor for the garage. We have some more text-to-speech. And we have the reset of it all afterwards. And then the danger bit, I believe, is that when one member of the household has left, I think the danger then is for the other one when they're still in bed. Yeah, it's telling you to get up for your fry up to make sure that the other person doesn't sleep in. So thank you for that piece of utter madness, Joe. Only thing that's left from me is to announce who the winner will be. So I've pretty much done this as a little bit of an incredible machine, so I'm hoping it all works. I did accidentally, when I was setting it all up, knock the IR bug off our TV behind me. So I am really just crossing my fingers to hope this all works. So in theory, what I should be able to do is go into my dining room in our app, go to the media controller and trigger a button. Ooh, will it work? Where's the music? It's meant to trigger some music as well. No. There we go. Congratulations, Adrian. Adrian is the winner of today's challenge. Oh, I'm glad that's over. Right, thank you everyone so much for joining. I hope you've enjoyed. Hope you've enjoyed this little piece of fun and madness for a Friday. Please join us again for all of our other webinar series that you can find on our website. Goodbye, everybody.